And I will tell you that I found articles, not in any crackpot publications, but in very sophisticated publications saying, forget Lyndon Johnson, forget the CIA, forget Fidel Castro. The Mossad killed Kennedy because they were so upset over what he did to Ben-Gurion.
He was a senator, and he was gaining a lot of steam throughout the Democratic presidential primaries in the summer of 1968. Now, you've got to think, if you're a deep state and you have just gone through such great lengths to kill the guy who you didn't want to have in office, the guy who didn't want to have the nuclear Dimona reactor in Israel done, you're trying to block AIPAC, you kill this guy to stop all of that, then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, he's got a brother.
RFK's battle to register AIPAC was legendary, and I think if there had been the internet in the 60s and social media as it exists today, the media wouldn't have been able to bury this story.
On June 5th, he is addressing his campaign supporters at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, okay? He concludes his remarks, he exits the stage, and the security begins escorting him through the back kitchen, when suddenly, you're not going to believe this, it's so perfect. An anti-Zionist Palestinian walks up and shoots him, and he dies. He's declared dead at the Good Samaritan Hospital the next day, 25 hours later. Perfect. That is, oh my gosh, these Palestinians, you just cannot control them. Except that story doesn't appear to be entirely true either. By the way, not even RFK Jr., we're not in conspiracy land, not even RFK Jr., who visited Saran Saran, the person who they say shot him, the Palestinian who they said shot and killed him in prison, RFK Jr. visited him, he doesn't even believe that story. Okay, this is the Washington Post. Who killed Bobby Kennedy? His son, RFK Jr., doesn't believe that it was Saran Saran. You would have thought, by the way, that we would have all heard about this back in 2016. But we didn't, or at least I didn't, unless maybe I was under a rock. But even the people who were present when he was shot testified that Saran Saran didn't kill him, but rather someone from behind RFK shot and killed him. Okay, take this guy, Paul Schrade, for example. This is a picture of Paul Schrade in 2016. Paul Schrade, at the age of 91 years old, appeared at Saran's parole hearing. Schrade was also shot at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. He was there in the back. He got shot by Saran Saran. And yet here he is appearing for him to be released on parole, and he apologized for missing Saran's 14 previous parole hearings. He told Saran at that time, quote, "I should have been here long ago, and that's why I feel guilty for not being here to help you and to help me." After the hearing, while Saran was being taken away, Schrade shouted, "Saran, I am so sorry this is happening to you. It is my fault." I'm sorry, what? You're saying sorry to the guy who shot you and the guy who shot RFK dead? Well, that's not the whole truth. What happened is not the whole truth. Well, at least what was presented to the public was not, if you believe Paul. And here is what he told the parole officers. I'm going to read you his remarks, which, as I said, you would have thought with the mainstream media would have gone, these would have gone viral, but I guess they were busy doing other stuff. "Saran, I forgive you. The evidence clearly shows that you were not the gunman who shot Robert Kennedy. There is clear evidence of a second gunman in that kitchen pantry who shot Robert Kennedy. One of the bullets, the fatal bullet, struck Bob in the back of the head. 2 bullets struck Bob literally in his back. A 4th bullet struck the back of his coat's upper right seam and passed harmlessly through his coat. I believe all 4 of those bullets were fired from a second gunman standing behind Bob. You were never behind Bob, nor was Bob's back ever exposed to you. Indeed, Saran, the evidence not only shows that you did not shoot Robert Kennedy, but it shows that you could not have shot Robert Kennedy. First, I want to show you this. It's a letter written in 2012 by my good friend, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr. Bobby wrote this letter to Eric Holder, who was then the Attorney General of the United States. In his letter to Mr. Holder, Bobby requests that the federal authorities examine the Brzezinski recording. Say that again, the Brzezinski recording. The only known audio recording made of his father's assassination at the Ambassador Hotel. The recording was uncovered in 2004 at the California State Archives by CNN International writer Brad Johnson. So somehow this recording was basically buried until somebody accidentally discovered it all the way in 2004. The next document is a federal court declaration from audio expert Philip von Prague, who Johnson recruited to analyze that Pruszynski recording. In this document, von Prague declares that his analysis of the recording concludes that 2 guns were fired in the Robert Kennedy shooting. Von Prague found a total of 13 gunshots in the Pruszynski recording. Sirhan's one and only gun at the crime scene held no more than 8 bullets, and Sirhan had no opportunity to reload it. Von Prague also found what he describes as double shots, meaning 2 gunshots fired so close together that they could not have both come from Sirhan's Ivor Johnson cadet revolver. Von Prague actually found 2 sets of these double shots. Additionally, he found that 5 of the 13 gunshots featured a unique audio resonance characteristic that could not have been produced by Sirhan's gun model, meaning those 5 shots were fired from a second gun of a different make. Von Prague further found that those 5 gunshots were fired in a direction heading away from Pruszynski's microphone. These are documents from the LAPD, the Los Angeles Police Department, that reveal the LAPD misconduct in the police investigation of the Robert Kennedy murder. They detail evidence that was destroyed while Sirhan's appeal was still pending, as well as a photograph that was acknowledged by the LAPD to be effective rebuttal but was withheld from the defense team. Indeed, the LAPD and the LA County District Attorney knew 2 hours after the shooting of Senator Kennedy that he was shot by a second gunman, and they had conclusive evidence that Sirhan could not and did not do it. The official records show the prosecution at Sirhan's trial never had one witness. They had no physical nor ballistic evidence to prove that Sirhan shot Bob Kennedy. Evidence locked up for 20 years shows that the LAPD destroyed physical evidence and hid ballistic evidence exonerating Sirhan, and covered up conclusive evidence that a second gunman fatally wounded Robert Kennedy. Who would have, if this man is to be believed, and it's very difficult to believe that a 91-year-old would make all of this up, what would be his reason? He was literally shot by Sirhan, and is taking a stand and saying that this is ridiculous, and that this has become political, and that there was corruption, and that actually this guy was just supposed to be the person who was blamed. Very similar to what we are learning about the JFK shooting. You get one guy who you're supposed to put the blame on, and how did that guy get crazy? Oh, I'm going to guess he was probably MK Ultra.
Let me just ask you a question. When did you start remembering things? After the shooting, what was the first thought that you had after the shooting?
Everything was always hazy in my head about that. And Tony Theodore, who passed away, was trying to get a specialist, Dr. Herbert Spiegel from New York, to hypnotize me and to regress me.
But how perfect the story. Anti-Zionist Palestinian kills beloved Kennedy. Kennedy curse, guys? Nah, I'm thinking more like Operation Every Kennedy, Operation Keep Tabs on every member of this important political family always and forever.
And I will tell you that I found articles, not in any crackpot publication, but in very sophisticated publications saying, forget Lyndon Johnson, forget the CIA, forget Fidel Castro. The Mossad killed Kennedy because they were so upset over what he did to Ben Gurion.